Today's lesson is called Mother's Day. It's history and celebration. Day 1. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
I'm Roger, and we're coming up soon on Mother's Day, which is in just a couple of days, so you better think of something to do for your mother on Mother's Day. And we're talking a little bit about its history and its celebration, where Mother's Day came from, how it got started, and how different people in the world celebrate Mother's Day.
Now, you mentioned Mother's Day.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Mother's Day in the United States is great for mothers. Mothers get flowers and chocolates and gifts, so on, so forth. They get pampered. You get to go out to a special dinner so they don't have to cook or clean the dishes or anything like that. They get all sorts of stuff. Now, it got me to thinking. Father's Day, on the other hand, in America is terrible. Okay, I'm now a father, so I can say that. Father's Day, for us Westerners, it's no good. For us Western fathers, what do we get? Nothing. Growing up, I remember getting a handshake from my dad, going up and giving my dad a handshake on Father's Day. We didn't do anything for my father. We didn't go to restaurants. We didn't do anything special. We didn't even give the guy cards. So I've got to call out Mother's Day right now. Mother's Day is great, but what about Father's Day? Mother's Day, you need to do something about this. Or mothers celebrating Mother's Day, you need to do something about this and maybe give a shout out to the fathers out there on Father's Day. Mothers and kids too, I should say. Take care of your fathers. He works for you and he loves you to death. Anyways, with that, folks, it's time to get started on our lesson on Mother's Day. It'll start after this.
Mother's Day. It's history and celebration. Mother's Day is a great opportunity for us to show how much we appreciate our moms. These days, we typically show our appreciation by taking our moms out for a meal or giving them flowers. But it wasn't always this way.
大家好，今天第一个单字我们看到的是 appreciation， 这个字当作名词，代表感谢或是欣赏的意思。例如 To show our appreciation for your help, we bought you these flowers. 为了对你的协助表示感谢，我们买了这些花给你。
Okay, everybody, we're going to talk about Mother's Day because Mother's Day is coming up in a couple of days. Father's Day, of course, here in Taiwan is on August 8th. You know, Ba, father. In the United States, though, Father's Day is on a different day. I have to go online to find out exactly when it is and maybe call my father or something like that. But like you were telling me at the beginning of the program, people don't really recognize Father's Day. Fathers have it made. They have no problem.
You don't even remember the date.
Yeah, who knows?
And on Father's Day, you're not going to send him a gift or anything like that. You're just going to give him a phone call.
Yeah, Father's Day is a joke, basically. But Mother's Day, we've got to recognize that because mothers make the huge sacrifice. Fathers, they don't do anything. They sit around watching TV all day and being waited on hand and foot by mothers. Mothers do all the work. Dads don't do anything. They're deadbeat dads. So that's why we need to celebrate Mother's Day.
Well, now that you put it that way, maybe you're right, okay? Moms do more around the house, and nowadays, moms not only do a lot of stuff around the house, but they also work as well. What do dads do? Sure, they go to work, but then they come home and they sit on the couch. They look lazy and entitled. You know what? They don't need a holiday. Let's just strike Father's Day off the calendar altogether.
Sure.
Let's have 2 Mother's Days instead of 1 Father's Day and 1 Mother's Day because moms really deserve it. Now, all jokes aside, we're not sexist here. We're just having some fun because the differences between Mother's Day and Father's Day in the West are definitely pronounced. But all jokes aside, we're now going to talk about Mother's Day and how great mothers are, and we're going to be very serious when doing so. So let's get started. Mother's Day, everyone, is a great opportunity for us to show how much we appreciate our moms. And yes, these days, we typically show our appreciation by taking our moms out for a meal or giving them flowers, or by giving them flowers. And yes, you can also give your mother chocolates and presents and cards in addition to taking them out for a meal and giving them flowers. Anyways, if you do any of these things, you are showing your mother appreciation on Mother's Day, so you're being a good kid or a good spouse. Anyways, what is appreciation? Appreciation, everyone, is the act of showing someone or something proper gratitude or respect.
Appreciation, that's the noun. It's from the verb to appreciate, which means you recognize something that someone else has done for you, so therefore you need to show your appreciation by giving them a gift or something like that. And of course, we show our appreciation to our mothers by taking them out for a meal at a special restaurant or giving them flowers or other things. But it wasn't always this way, okay? We haven't always celebrated Mother's Day. Let's talk a little bit about the history of Mother's Day and how it got started. Let's go now to the second part of our lesson.
Celebrations of motherhood can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. According to Greek mythology, spring festivals were held to honor the goddess Rhea, the mother of numerous deities. In ancient Rome, Hilaria, a 3-day festival consisting of games and parades, was held to celebrate the mother goddess Cybele. In the 1600s, Mother's Day began to resemble the holiday as we know it today. On the fourth Sunday of Lent, the English observed Mothering Sunday by going to either the church they were baptized at or the Mother Church to honor the Virgin Mary. Families would recite prayers together, and then children would give flowers to their moms.
第二部分我们看到的单字是 motherhood。这个字当作名词，它有母亲的身份的意思，所以我们可以说 After having a baby, Mary realizes that motherhood is difficult. 在生完小孩后 Mary 了解到身为母亲的艰辛。再来我们看到的单字是 numerous， 这个字当作形容词，代表许多的、非常多的意思。例如 Ben's office made numerous attempts to reach him by phone. Ben 的办公室试了好几次打电话找他。接下来我们看到的单字是 resemble， 这个字当作动词，它有类似和点点点相像的意思。例如 Heather 比较像妈妈多于像爸爸，英文可以这么说 Heather resembles her mother more than her father.
Nowadays, these days, we typically show appreciation to our moms on Mother's Day by taking them out for a meal, by giving them flowers, by giving them chocolates and candies and cards and all sorts of stuff, but it wasn't always like this. Celebrations of motherhood, our article continues, can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome. Yes, these celebrations go back in time thousands of years. How about that? Now, before we move on to the next sentence here, let's talk about the word motherhood. Motherhood is the state of being a mom or a mother. That's all there is to it.
And you could add that suffix to a lot of other words, fatherhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, etc. Just the state of being those things. So yes, celebrating mothers or celebrating motherhood, that can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome, the ancient civilizations in Europe there. According to Greek mythology, spring festivals were held to honor the goddess Rhea, the mother of numerous deities. So this, of course, is according to Greek mythology. Mythology, of course, is a collection of stories and myths, of course, in various cultures and traditions around the world. Of course, we've got the Roman myths. We've got the Greek myths or Greek mythology. There's Norse mythology. There, of course, is Chinese mythology. There are probably many different kinds of mythologies in Africa or even here in Taiwan. They probably got some great myths there to talk about. So according to Greek mythology, spring festivals, of course, were held. They had these spring festivals because they wanted to honor one of the goddesses in Greek mythology. Her name was Rhea. Who was Rhea? Well, she was the mother of numerous or many deities. A deity, of course, is a god or goddess. Here in Taiwan, of course, you've got lots of deities in temples, like Guan Yin is a deity, for example.
Now, in the West, very often the religions are monotheistic. That means there is one God, and that's that. Now, In other cultures, there is polytheism. That means there are many gods. And in that situation, you don't have a single god on top of the heap. You do have gods, and some are more powerful than others, okay? But you have all these gods amongst other gods. And these gods amongst other gods, or amongst many other gods, are called deities. That's all there is to it. And yes, there are numerous deities that we're talking about here, okay? And the word numerous very simply means many. So numerous deities means many gods when there are a lot of gods to be had. Now, let's talk about ancient Rome. In ancient Rome, Hilaria, a 3-day festival consisting of games and parades, was held to celebrate the mother goddess Cybele. What an interesting word. We've got Hilaria and then Cybele. Now, that is an ancient Rome. That goes back thousands of years. Let's move forward in time and in history a little bit. Get this, in the 1600s, Mother's Day began to resemble the holiday as we know it today. So now you've got one day where you take your mom out for a meal, you give her chocolates and cards and gifts and flowers and stuff like that. Back in the day, there in ancient Rome, it was a 3-day festival consisting of games and parades and stuff like that. Then, according to Greek mythology, there were spring festivals to honor a goddess and stuff like that. But in the 1600s, Mother's Day began to resemble Mother's Day, the holiday that we all know and love nowadays or these days. Now, in this sentence, we have the word resemble to talk about. To resemble something is to look like that thing, okay? In the 1600s, that's when Mother's Day began to take on the appearance that we all know and love.
Now, on the 4th Sunday of Lent, the English observed Mothering Sunday by going to either the church they were baptized at or the Mother Church to honor the Virgin Mary. So this has to do with a Catholic church. I am not Catholic myself. I had Catholic friends and stuff like that. And oftentimes they talked about this thing called Lent. What exactly is Lent?
Lent is 40 days, a 40-day period at the beginning of the year that starts with Ash Wednesday, I believe, and it ends with the resurrection of Jesus Christ there on Easter. Now, right before Lent begins, people usually have a really big party, like Mardi Gras or something like that, because during Lent, you can't have any fun. You fast and you don't eat meat on Fridays, and you're supposed to pray a lot and go to church a lot and do all sorts of fun stuff while you await the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. So that's what Lent is all about. It's not a super fun time, but it does culminate in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, let's talk about baptism, or what it means to be baptized. Now, if a person is baptized, they are inducted into a religion, usually by way of a ceremony called baptism. Now, as far as Christians and Catholics are concerned, I believe baptism consists of a priest pouring water on a kid's head or a person's head and saying some prayers and saying that you're now baptized and you're free of your original sin and you're now a member of some Christian religion. Now, I don't remember what my baptism was like because I was a newborn baby, so I have seen this happen. I've seen other people being baptized, but I myself do not remember my baptism, though apparently I was baptized into the Catholic faith, or into Roman Catholicism.
Yeah, I think I was baptized in Kansas City or something when my family went down to visit my Uncle Paul, who lived there at the time. But I can't remember what church it was. And of course, I don't remember the baptism at all. But in any case here, yes, you could go to the church you were baptized at. So if you can remember which church that was, then it's traditional, at least back in this time here in the 1600s in England, you were supposed to go back to the church you were baptized at. Or you could go to the Mother Church, which was the church that is to honor the Virgin Mary, the Holy Mother of Jesus. And families would recite prayers together. Holy Mary, Mother of God, please forgive us sinners, blah, blah, blah. They would say this big long prayer. And then children would give flowers to their mom. So after you say Amen and you get off your knees and stuff like that, then you go, okay, Mom, here's a bunch of flowers. Stick them in a vase. And with that, we're going going to move on to the third part of our lesson. Let's listen first.
The modern American Mother's Day was conceived in the early 1900s by Anna Jarvis, who believed it was important to have a day honoring the sacrifices mothers make for their children. Inspired by her own mother's love of carnations, Jarvis set this flower as the symbol of the day. In 1914, her idea was officially adopted, and the second Sunday in May came to be known as Mother's Day.
第三部分我们看到的单字是 conceive， 这个字当作动词，代表构思、设想的意思。所以我们可以说 I often wonder how authors conceive their ideas for fantastic stories. 我常常好奇作者们是如何构思出好的故事。接下来我们看到的单字是 sacrifice， 这个字当作名词，它有牺牲的意思。例如 Fiona 牺牲空闲教 Hector 读书。英文可以这么说Fiona sacrificed her free time to help Hector study. 今天最后一个单字我们看到的是 inspire， 这个字当作动词，它有赋予点点点灵感或是激励启发的意思。所以我们可以说 Ingrid inspired me to write a song. Ingrid 给了我写歌的灵感。
All right, everyone, let's start to wrap up the final portion of day 1 of our lesson on Mother's Day. It begins by saying, the modern American Mother's Day was conceived in the early 1900s by Anna Jarvis, who believed it was important to have a day honoring the sacrifices mothers make for their children. So we kind of joked about Mother's Day before, but let's get serious right now. Modern Mother's Day. It was conceived of in the early 1900s, and this person who conceived of it thought this was important. Having a day like this was important to honor the sacrifices that mothers make. The sacrifices that mothers make for their children, to be clear. So this is the modern Mother's Day, and behind this celebration is a really good idea. The idea to honor mothers and the sacrifices that they make. How about that? Thank you, Anna Jarvis. Now, before we move on here, we've got 2 vocabulary words to talk about. First of all, we've got the verb conceive. Okay, if this holiday, or this day I should say, was conceived of in the early 1900s, that's when it was thought of. Yeah, conceived means thought of. Further, to conceive of something. Okay, more generally, to conceive of something is to think of that thing, or to come up with a plan, or to get an idea for something, so on and so forth. Then we also have the word sacrifice to talk about. Here it's being used as a noun when we're talking about sacrifices. We're talking about the things a person gives up for someone else, or for something else, or for that person or thing's benefit.
Indeed, so mothers have sacrificed a lot for their children. I could say that fathers make similar sacrifices as well. But again, we need to honor mothers because of their sacrifices. Inspired by her own mother's love of carnations. Okay, so yes, indeed, Anna Jarvis was inspired to create Mother's Day and was inspired to give carnations to her mother because her mother loved carnations. A carnation is a kind of flower that is traditionally given to mothers on Mother's Day.
Yeah, carnations. A carnation is a type of flower that comes in a variety of colors, and usually carnations, they're not as expensive or as beautiful as roses are, but you can get a whole lot of them, and they are a colorful, nice flower. So they're kind of perfect for Mother's Day. You're not saying, Mom, I love you. That would be weird, giving your mom a rose and then saying that, but carnations fit the bill just right on Mother's Day when you're showing your mom the proper appreciation. Anyways, more on Anna Jarvis's great idea. In 1914, her idea was officially adopted, and the second Sunday in May came to be known as Mother's Day. And the rest is history, folks. Anyways, with that, it's time for you guys to hear from the Chinese teacher, but don't go away.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文第一部分的第二句提到 These days we typically show our appreciation by taking our moms out for a meal or giving them flowers. 现在我们通常会带妈妈出去吃一顿饭，或者是送花给他们来表达感谢。好，那么句子里面的 appreciation它是名词，可以用来指感谢或者是欣赏。好 appreciation 当感谢来解释的时候，它是不可数名词，常常会搭配动词 show 或者是 express。那我们可以用 express one's appreciation for 什么什么，或是 express one's gratitude for 什么什么来表达向什么表达感谢。那我刚刚说的这个 gratitude 它也是不可数名词，就是指感谢啊或者是感激之情。好，那除此之外还有更简单的说法，你可以说 give thanks to somebody 或者是 express one's thanks to somebody。 那其中的 thanks 它是当名词，固定又复数型。好，我们来造个例句。Holly expressed her gratitude for her friend's help by cooking a meal for them. 为了感谢朋友的协助， Holly 就为她的朋友们煮了一顿大餐。好，那至于 appreciation 当欣赏来解释的时候，它常用单数表示，可以搭配动词cultivate 或者是 develop 来表达说培养啊、发展欣赏的能力。举例来说 She has developed an appreciation of poetry. 她已经培养出对诗的欣赏能力了。好，课文第3部分的第一句提到The modern American Mother's Day was conceived in the early 1900s by Anna Jarvis. 近代的美国母亲节啊，是在20世纪由这个安娜贾维斯 Anna Jarvis 所构想出来的。那这边有一个单字 conceive 是动词，它表示构思啊、设想，它也有怀胎怀孕的意思。那我们来拆解这个字的字首字根，它后面的 C-E-I-V-E 有拿取、接受或是掌握的意思。那它的字首 C-O-N 有强调或者是一起共同的语义。那同学们就可以试着联想看看，怀孕就代表2个人要一起接受，共同得到新生命。那我们就从这个孕育新生命延伸出去，联想到这个设想、构想的语义。毕竟我们中文也有说孕育出新的想法、孕育出新的点子的说法。好，那至于 conceive 它的名词是 conception 就表示概念、想法或者是怀孕。那我们如果在字首加上 miss 表达错或是不，变成 misconception 那就表示误解或者是错误的想法、错误的概念。不过它并没有怀错胎的意思哦。好，那我们再补充2个也有 sieve 这个字根的单字 perceive 它是动词，表示理解啊、认知、察觉、意识到什么什么。那它的字首 P-E-R 它有完全或是贯穿的语义。那么 sieve 表示接受，同学们就可以联想看看，当你完完全全接受或是全心全意接受某个事物的时候，你就能意识到这个东西，察觉到这个东西。好，再来 deceive 这个动词表示误导、欺骗或是蒙骗。它的字首 D-E 有分离或否定的语义。那 sieve 表示取得，那我们可以联想说，以不好的方式、以不当的方式取得，那就有欺骗或者使人误信的语义。好，那以上就是今天重点整理，我们接下来回顾今天单字吧。
Appreciation. I hope you'll accept this small gift as a sign of my appreciation for all you have done. Motherhood. Although motherhood is challenging, I'm glad I decided to have a baby. Numerous. Following the incident, there were numerous calls for the politician to step down. Resemble. My 10-year-old brother strongly resembles our grandfather at that age. Conceive. Sarah's friends conceived a party to surprise her with on her birthday. Sacrifice. We each made sacrifices to be together, but it was worth it. Inspire. Mike was inspired by the band's passion to make his own music.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.